Why do you think it's important to have a historical context for downtown Phoenix, considering all of the downtown revitalization that's going on?
I was always kind of bothered when I would hear from people, especially people who lived here for a long time, that downtown had no history, or that Phoenix has no history, and I just intuitively knew that can't possibly be true. And so in working on this project and finding these old photos and stories of what downtown Phoenix was and the things that did happen here and this extensive history that we did have was so exciting to learn, and just to finally have something to refute with and be like, no, look what we do have. And this is our community, this is what we came from, this is where we were. Look at all the great things that people did here before modern conveniences like air conditioning or something like that. And they built this great urban city that we can build again. And have that the Phoenix deserves to have both a great urban core and its surrounding suburbs.
Cool. So what changed in you after writing this book? What did you learn? Did it change your perspective on anything, your mind on anything?
To me, there was a more hope, more positive outcome, because during midstream of the book, we almost ended on a negative note. In the mid-century, when downtown declined and people left for a variety of reasons. But then we reconfigured some of the photos, some of the text to show what's been happening in the recent past, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even into the 2000s, of some of the things that have been developed over time that are positive, especially now with adaptive reuse and light rail bringing people back in and a vibrancy, and that was hopeful.
Cool. So what was the one thing that disturbed you most in learning about the history of downtown Phoenix?
There was a couple things. One for me was I didn't realize how many cars were in Phoenix as early as the 1920s. I always thought that the car became this dominating feature in Phoenix post-World War II, and there was a lot more cars than I think we know about in the 20s and 30s. And even then, when they were tearing things down to build parking lots. And so that was another thing that surprised me when I would look and find a photo of a great building that said demolished 1931, 1932. I was like, that didn't happen until the 50s, I thought. So that was weird. And the learning about the rapid decline of downtown by the early 70s, just what a dead wasteland it was.
The 50s
kind of freaked me out.
The 50s were just devastating. We talk about mid-century modern architecture, but what that did was mainly benefit the surrounding parts of Phoenix, and the downtown just was decimated. There's statistics about the retail sales that happened in downtown before World War II, and then after World War II, when all the major department stores left, mainly to Park Central, Midtown, it went from
I think it was 52% of retail sales came from downtown Phoenix. By 1972, it was less than 3%.
Wow.
And we are still trying to get back to where we were as a vibrant city. And there's so many holes were put in because of the demolitions, and neighborhoods were wholesale demolished. And we're still trying to get out of that hole.
Because of that, we lost the connectedness that was downtown. Now there's just sort of like a splattering of things around that don't really work together.
And the introduction of the interstate through downtown, that was a whole series of fights and issues, and those neighborhoods along I-10 are just still trying to get back.
What was the most delightful thing that you learned while writing this book?
For me, it was every generation has dealt with living in a desert climate of Phoenicians, and so this talk about sustainability now is important, and it's great that we're doing it, but we can learn lessons from the past, because you look at some of these photos, you hear some of the stories of what past Phoenicians did, from Ho-Ho-Come time to Territoria days, with shade and placement of buildings and awnings on buildings. So that was, learning from the past, I think, is an important message that we can all take from, because then that helps us ground us for moving forward. because we do have that history, we do have that knowledge of what our forefathers and foremothers have done in the past.
I'm the same, just looking at the potential still that exists to make Phoenix an awesome 21st century city. Building on what we still have left, but then taking what we've messed up and really applying our understanding of our environment and the world and where we are today to building that kind of awesome 21st century desert city.
Cool. Okay, so real quick, where can people find the book?
Almost anywhere.
Really? Wow, that's
because
great.
in the age of the internet,
Yes.
we're online. The publisher, Arcadia Publishing, does a great job in marketing the book through the various online retailers, but then it's also sold locally at many local bookstores, Changing Hands, Made, Rawson House, Public Grandy Museum. So it's a broad range of places.
Seventh Ave Pharmacy.
Seventh Ave Pharmacy.
Giant Coffee.
Where most of the book was written.
Where a lot of the book was written, yep.
Okay,
And
wonderful.
Amazon. We have them around town when we do signings and stuff. We bring them out.
Okay.
And you can even buy them in London,
Wow.
with euros, and in
Amazing.
India with rupees.
Wow.
Right.
Fantastic.
Right.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.